Nine-man football is alive and well in South Dakota. With the realignment of classes, there are two defending state champs in 9AA. Platte Geddes is coming off an undefeated season with 5 all-state players back, headlined by running back and potential quarterback Grayson Hansen.
He does so much for us that our backup quarterback's pretty good, we think, so we're not going to be secret about it. He's going to be the same role he was last year. We're going to move him all over the place.
It'll be about the same as last year. I'll rotate in. We still got a really good quarterback, and I'll play all the other positions still too.
So yeah, there's probably some outside pressure there, but we're okay with it.
We lost some guys last year that were important to our team, but we got good guys coming up, so just looking forward to get better every game. So maybe a little chip on our shoulder, but I think we're getting ready for it. Just getting better is the main goal.
I think our seniors are really going to step up this year, and we're going to work hard this year and push everybody to be better.
Canistota-Freeman will play Platte Geddes right out of the gate in their first game as a 9AA team this season. Head coach James Strang has guided this team to great success over the past few seasons, winning 3 titles in a row in 9A. But this is one of the more inexperienced teams he's had recently.
Good thing about our boys is that they've been through it enough, they understand what it takes, and so they're able to just refocus and get built back. We graduated a nice senior group, and we've got some great kids coming back. We got really good numbers in our underclassmen, just a few seniors on the roster that are going to have to step up and play big and lead the right way, and our junior.
Hadley Wallace had an outstanding sophomore season and is back to lead the Beavers this year. Viborg Hurley lost a few all-time greats, but they still have the talent to do some damage. Chester area feels like they could be the surprise team in this class. In Class 9A, there are several teams that can make a claim on that top spot, but it's Woolsey-Wessington who are the favorites. They move up from 9B, where they went 10-1 and brought home some hardware.
We haven't played a lot of these teams, like our first game against DeSmit. I've never coached a game that we've played DeSmit in, and some of these other teams that we play on our schedule are some teams that we've never really played before. So I feel like it's a good schedule, so by the end of the year, you'll know where you stand.
9A, there's a lot of tough teams. A lot of teams that have been tough for years, and then a lot of them that we know are going to be pretty good.
I'm just excited for senior year, playing one last ride with the boys.
I trust every one of my linemen. They work their tails off in the weight room, out here when we're running sprints. So I know that they're going to give me their 100%. So
DeSmet has a strong senior class with 5 returning starters on offense and 7 more on defense.
Seniors, just a phenomenal group of kids, 8 of them that all are very impactful in the program. And they really, really have helped these younger kids, step up and encourage them and build their confidence to step into these roles that we're going to ask them to this year.
A lot of the athletes back we had last year, just losing a couple seniors, and all of our skill guys are back, so it should be fun.
We got new guys coming up, and hopefully they can get a good push for us, and then us speed guys will just run.
Everybody's been in the weight room so much that our numbers have all went up a lot, and just pushing each other so hard to be the best we could be.
Don't miss the season opener between Woolsey-Wessington and DeSmit right here on Midco Sports. Continuing in 9A, Harriet-Selby area. They've had some great returning all-state caliber talent for the last few seasons. This year, Brendan Begeman, Trey Heddick, Chance Gregg, Trey Seiler, and Trevor Seiler all come back. They've made it to the semis or better the last couple of seasons, and they have a shot to get there in 9A this season. The Howard Tigers lose a lot of seniors, but their underclassmen are strong, and they should stay in contention this year. Warner made it to the Dome last year with a freshman quarterback. Hunter Kramer looks ready to lead this group to another deep playoff run. Class 9B is without a defending champ, but there are many who agree that Harding County is the favorite. Del Rapids St. Mary will have something to say about that. Faulkton area has a veteran team with an experienced quarterback in Parker Geddes. Alcester Hudson and Corsica Stickney hope to benefit from a wide-open class. There's a look at your top 5 to start the season. Again, those are my votes for the preseason poll, not the official media poll. I'm sure they'll be changing throughout the season. Thanks for watching the South Dakota High School football season preview. Watch for all of our coverage on Varsity Sports Live at 10:30 p.m. every Friday, and check out our biggest season ever of live high school football coverage too. Our website will have the schedule as the season rolls on. Good luck to all the teams and fans out there. Welcome to another wonderful season of high school football. I'm Jason Andera, and I'll be covering all 7 classes of South Dakota action all season long. Today, we're going to get you ready for what promises to be a season filled with rivalries, stars, surprises, and great storylines. We begin in the state's largest class, where there are a few changes. South Dakota welcomes its newest team, the Jefferson Cavaliers, in their inaugural season, making it the 5th school in the Sioux Falls city limits in this 9-team class. But it's the teams just outside of Sioux Falls that are causing a stir. Harrisburg and Brandon Valley landed in the championship game last year and start this season out in my top spots. Coming in at number 1, Harrisburg. The Tigers achieved a lot of firsts last year, but they're going to have to continue to elevate to exceed expectations. They have one of the deepest teams they've ever had. 7 starters are back on offense and 6 more on defense to try to get the job done.
26 seniors is big. That's kind of the most we've ever had. We've had a few of those years, but a lot of the time it's around that 20 mark. So when you bring back a ton of seniors, your practices are just that much better. The culture is that much better.
Everybody's going to go to battle for each other. The guy next to you is going to go to battle. You're going to battle for him. And it's just, the brotherhood.
I think the pressure, we'll all do really well with it, personally. I think pressure makes diamonds, so I think that we're going to take that really well.
Quarterback Jacob Knuth headlines a strong offense. Knuth put up great numbers as a junior, committed to the University of Minnesota in the offseason, and continues to push the bar as a leader.
We're really clicking right now. Just having the experience together, being together for really since middle school. We've always talked about senior year is our year, and just kind of having that be kind of true, but we have to earn it all and work for it.
Second in my preseason top 5 is the defending champs from Brandon Valley. The biggest news out of Brandon since they walked off the field with a 35-14 win against Harrisburg in the championship game is the head coaching situation. Chad Garrow had to step aside while he fights a brain tumor, and Coach Matthew Christensen has assumed the interim role.
We have a new saying, one family. So I think what he's really trying to do is keep us together because, we're all thinking about Coach Garrow, praying about him.
Chad Garrow called the offensive plays during the games most of the time. We've been together so long. We've been basically all of us the same guys since 2005 because Coach Garrow just empowers everybody and trusts everybody, and then everybody invests and buys in, and then you get the great culture that we have.
On the field, 5 starters return on offense and 5 more on defense. Offensively, the Lynx relied on big plays from quarterback Joe Colbeck, running back Tate Johnson, and receiver Jackson Hilton. This year, they'll have to replace all of them.
Our strengths are definitely going to be our offense and our passing ability with Lucas Slack and a bunch of receivers that are returning this year.
We're hungry. We're consistent leaders, and our play-action pass game, it's going to work because we run the ball so well.
The Riders were the most affected by the addition of a new high school in Sioux Falls, but they are strong up front and have some of the most talented running backs in the state. Head coach Kim Nelson thinks the Riders should be fine.
I think we have some good experience in the offensive line and on the defensive front. Running back also, good experience there. So we're kind of counting on those guys to be the heart of our team to start with. So far, they haven't disappointed us.
I still got a confidence in a lot of my guys. A lot of our senior players are stepping up this year. Staying with a lot of upperclassmen, I think we're going to be solid as long as we keep working hard.
In at number 4, the Washington Warriors. 7 starters return on offense, including all 5 guys up front. Last season, the Warriors just couldn't stay healthy on the offensive line. This year, they hope to reset and become a strength of the team. At number 5 in my preseason votes, the O'Gorman Knights. You can't count these guys out, even though they have one of the least experienced teams they've had in recent memory. Bennett Dannenbrink transferred from Roosevelt and will suit up as the starting quarterback in Jason Poppinga's pass-friendly offense. When we come back, we'll give you an inside look at the largest high school combine in the region. Plus, we'll continue looking at all the classes in South Dakota.
The South Dakota High School Football Preview Show on Midco Sports is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and Avera Orthopedics.
Welcome back to our high school football preview show. The Riggs Combine continues to be a staple in watching some of the area's premier college football prospects. This year, several players opened eyes and caught college scouts' attention with their performances in the drills and with their testing. Washington sophomore Abraham Myers was the biggest athlete ever to win the 40-yard sprint at this combine. He measured in at 6'3", 207 and hauled down the lane at a tune of 4.71.
I didn't even know what time I would get, to be honest. Like, I've never run a 40 before, so I didn't know what to expect.
The pro agility test favors those who can change directions quickly. No one clocked a faster time than Griffin Wilde. The sophomore receiver caught 16 balls for 361 yards and 3 touchdowns last year for Roosevelt. This year, he's suiting up at Jefferson. Who can get up? Hunter Gray of Brookings can. He topped a list of leapers at 33.5 inches in the vertical. The broad jump is another test of physical power and explosion. The top jumps from South Dakota were Matt Gehring, Hunter Gray, Cade Schensel, and Griffin Wilde. We continue our look at the rest of the classes. We'll go to 11 AA. Pierre has owned this class, winning 4 straight championships, but this season promises to be one of the closest races in recent years. Several teams, whether they're in my top 5 or not, should have a shot to get to the Dome. The Govs have just 2 starters back after 4 years in a row of claiming the state championship. One of those guys is quarterback Lincoln Keynotes, who is really good at what he does.
I think everyone's out to get us a little bit, so we just have to keep working hard, and hopefully the goal's still there.
We're not at a point where we want to take a step back, and we've just got to keep challenging these kids and set the bar as high as we can, and we know they'll do everything they can to reach it.
This won't be the biggest or strongest team Pierre has had, but they remain the team to beat.
We're just trying to fill those places, but I think we'll be able to do it.
We have over a lot of other teams, we really get put together, more as a family. We got family and TOTD, forget about me, I love you, and turn out the darkness, so.
We're really hard workers. A lot of us are just like bonded from last year still. It's not any different. We just need to step up sometimes.
The Bobcats have finished the last 2 seasons watching Pierre claim the title from the other sideline. 2 important pieces of the team from a leadership perspective are Jackson Bowes at quarterback and linebacker fullback Jackson Eck. They will set the tone for the Bobcats this year.
A lot of really good guys coming back in a lot of different positions, a lot of different areas. So I think we're going to be a well-rounded team, kind of like we were last year, but definitely have some advantages this year.
We want to have a chip on our shoulder, but we know we're good enough to win state, so we want to come together and get it done this year.
We had a really special year last year. We had a lot of great leadership on our team, from coaches down to players, which is even more important. And they really instilled a lot of great qualities for this group this year that we're going to continue building on, which is really exciting.
In at number 3 in my preseason top 5, the Yankton Bucks. They're stocked on the field this year with 8 offensive starters and 6 coming back on defense. Number 4, Watertown. They moved from AAA to AA. They have 6 starters back on offense and 7 more on D and a potentially dominant offensive line. Mitchell in at number 5. They would love to rebound after a 3-win season last year. They have almost all their starters back, 8 on offense, 9 more on defense. 11 AA goes much deeper this year. Aberdeen Central could be a very good team with their quarterback Sam Rolfs running the show. How about Sturgis West River? They've been getting better and better every year. We visited Sturgis's camp to find out why they were so excited.
Explosive players, I think Owen Cass is somebody that's, last year as a sophomore, he showed that he could do some things playing the quarterback position, and he's got a knowledge with the game, and Coach Anderson's kind of opened up our playbook for our offense to be able to use his strengths.
So last year I didn't know if I was going to start at the beginning of the year, and I ended up starting like halfway through the year. So that was my main goal last year. So this year we can start to focus on winning games getting further in the playoffs.
I'm hoping to host a home playoff game again. We did last season, but we didn't come out with a win. But
obviously, we've made it to the playoffs. We've got home playoff games the last 2 years, but we've never won it. So that'd be a good goal this year, is to get a home playoff game again and to be able to win it and go to the second round for the first time in forever, too.
T-Area starts the season off outside my top 5, but they're the defending champs in 11A. This season they move up to 11AA, but feel like they could make some noise.
It's going to be a nice challenge to play somebody new. I mean, you know, and it's every week you're playing a tough team. When we were in Class A, it's going to be the same in AA. Every week you got to be ready to play, and you know, I think our big thing is, you know, not having as many players out as the other schools. You know, injuries will come into play. That's going to be the big thing for us. But I think we can compete, and I know we're going to play hard, and the kids are excited about it.
We're able to communicate with each other really well, and we're just trying to keep the team together. Iron sharpens iron. We kind of play off each other.
I think we're keeping our head down and working like we normally do, and with our confidence level, I don't see why we couldn't win.
Later in the show, we'll get to the 9-man classes, but next, we preview 11A.
The South Dakota High School Football Preview Show on Midco Sports is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and Avera Orthopedics.
Class 11A, it's been dominated by the DAC-12 teams for years. The last time a non-DAC-12 team won an 11A title was 2009 when Millbank beat St. Thomas More. This year, my top 5 is once again a DAC-12 sweep, with Canton in at number 1. The Seahawks have been to the championship game 2 straight seasons. There's no reason they should expect anything less this year. 10 players with starting experience are back on offense and 8 on defense for head coach Rich Lundstrom.
Big holes to fill, big shoes to fill, I should say, with Zach and Seth especially at those two. Marshall especially, Peyton Eben on offense. He'll see some time on defense this year too, but those two guys, those two seniors especially, are we're looking to for leadership. And then, of course, Josh since he's the quarterback, and he, I think, relishes that role, so he's doing just fine there too.
With the guys we have around and like the returning players we have, we don't really have any missing spots, so it's going to be like the same team as last year, but probably a little bit better because we're younger.
The Couriers got off to a great start last year, but hit a wall of tough teams down the stretch. They should be explosive on offense with 7 starters back, including their quarterback Austin Henry and one of the best backs in the state, Landon Rusink.
Early playoff exit last year really launched us into the spring and the winter effort. A lot of guys in the weight room getting better every day.
We bring back 9-10 starters on our offense, so some experience there. Defensively, we graduated quite a bit, so we bring back 2 or 3 starters, but a lot of guys who are working hard to be ready week 1.
Madison has one of the most experienced teams in the state with 9 starters back on offense, including quarterback Nathan Rickey. West Central begins a new era after a strong 2-year stint under head coach Vince Benedetto. They have 7 returning starters on offense, and they should be very good with Justin Zerpel making plays. Dakota Valley used a senior-heavy lineup last year, and that leaves just 2 returning starters this season, but they'll be able to hit the ground running with a lot of talent among the underclassmen. Coming up next, we'll talk about 11B. Will any of the perennial favorites falter and open up a spot for some new blood? We'll be right back. The usual suspects are lining up at the top of 11B again. Winner or Bridgewater Emory Ethan has been in the championship game for the past 6 years. This season, there's some new blood that would love to crash the party, but the old favorites are as strong as usual. The Winter Warriors are used to winning. Last year they captured another title and won't sneak up on anyone this year either. Winter has the task of replacing 4 All-State performers.
We have 16 seniors. That's the most seniors we've had in several years. That's a really big group for us. And I think they're ready. They want something to prove. Can't rest on last year and have that be your career high. We want to do something special again this year.
It's fun having high expectations and then like fulfilling it, like really going out there and seeing what you do when you come back on like a Friday night after the game. You get to watch it.
everyone knows the tradition, and you don't want your grade to be the one to let it down. So you have to do something to make sure it keeps living on.
I wouldn't say there's any added pressure. I mean, I feel like we're always expected to do well, and that's what we want to do. We want to play some football and play well.
The Cossacks put together a very good 9-2 season last year. Despite losing the Player of the Year, they should be primed for another breakout season. 5 starters return on offense and 6 on defense. Head coach Dan Hughes has the pieces to put together a winning formula.
They're smart, they're intelligent, they're very headsy, they know the game really well, so they can think quickly, so that'll lend itself to be advantageous, in many different areas. But yeah, they're a great group of guys.
But we got a lot of guys that can step up and fill those gaps, and I think we're looking pretty good, and I think there's some guys that are going to show some improvement, and maybe hopefully we can take some steps beyond last year.
I'm looking forward to seeing all the young guys compete that really didn't get the chance last year, because we had a bunch of people that were best fit for that position at that time. But yeah, our young guys have really been stepping up in practice. I'm just really looking forward to seeing them compete.
What defines us is that I think we all have that bond, and it's an unbreakable bond, and it's just going to be a fun season with the guys.
Bridgewater Emory Ethan has 5 All-Staters to replace from their runner-up team a year ago. But don't worry, they'll be fine. Their school record holder in points for a single season, Kobe Kaiser, is back, as well as their quarterback, Caden Klum. Woonsocket Wessington Springs Sanborn Central has championship makeup. 2 All-State players are back for the Blackhawks in Clay Ollinger and Quentin Christensen. St. Thomas More should be back on track this year. They're going to be a young team, but they still have a lot of talent. Jed Sullivan won't be starting the season at quarterback, but could come later in the year, and Matt Larson is one of the best ball carriers in the class. Next, you've been waiting for the 9-man previews. They're coming up, all 3 classes of my top 5s next.